Figuring out the reason why your toenails are changing is often a difficult task, but it's an important step in the restoration process. Stay tuned to find out what has caused the changes in this diabetic client's nails and get answers to some of the concerns commented in last week's video.
That year hit that she, realized. So, but yeah, so.
When people see discoloration and misshapen nails, their first thought is nail fungus. But I've been giving pedicures like this for almost 30 years, and I can identify changes caused from damage pretty quickly. And I always ask a lot of questions just to make sure I still agree with myself by the end of the service so we can identify and prevent it from happening again.
So how long are you going to get to stay and visit your friend?
I'm only going to stay for a day, technically.
Oh.
I'm going to fly in late Friday, like after I get off of work, fly straight to Midway for a 9 o'clock flight, get there, because I think I took 2 non-stop flights because I don't like layovers. If I can avoid layovers, I try to. Her birthday is on that Friday, but the party's on that. And she doesn't really know exactly what's happening. All she knows is that her she was told they're going to do something. They're having something. And she asked them, well, if we do something, can my friend come? And so they said yes. But she doesn't know if I come, what I'm coming for, what we're doing. She doesn't have any clue of what's going on. So I'm only going to stay for the day that the event is happening, and then the next day I fly back out.
Oh, she'll be so excited.
She will, because she's not really, when she mentioned nails to her, so she doesn't, I didn't say no, but I didn't 100% say yes. She hasn't called me, and I decided, well, I'm not going to call her. I'm just going to let my silence sort of kind of make her feel like, well, maybe she's not coming because she hasn't.
Yeah.
Because normally if I'm coming in town, I would have called and be like, I'll be there. And I haven't said anything. So I'm going to sort of kind of probably leave it with her sort of thinking I'm not.
Yeah.
Whatever they're doing, then I'm not going to come. And then I'll pop up. And I noticed on that toe too, I do remember hitting my toe.
Yeah, you've got a little boo-boo right there.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until after I hit. And like you said, some of that we were talking about, some of that numbness, it probably would have hurt more, but because I do have like that, like I said, I'm sort of guesstimating like 20% of my feeling is gone, I really didn't feel it. It wasn't until later I looked down and I noticed it was a scratch on my toe. I'm like, where did that go? But that's, like you say, it's sort of healing now. That was like a couple of weeks or so ago when that happened. But that is one of the issues with, the diabetes and stuff. You do have to be careful because you could do stuff and absolutely not
even know it. Yeah.
Because she has diminished feeling in her feet, you have to be very careful not to cause any injury to the skin. Diabetics take longer to heal, and if they don't know the injury is there, it could get infected if ignored. So why do I think the nail changes are from damage? 1, I know she has diminished feeling in her toes. She just told me she doesn't remember injuring her 4th toe. 2, the line of demarcation in the toenail is in the same spot on both smaller toenails. 3, there is discoloration in the top part of the nail resembling evidence of body fluid that was under the nail. And 4, there's always like a little bubble from inflammation where the line of demarcation is. And at the end of the video, you'll hear how she developed an ulcerated lesion on this big toe, on that side where that big callus is. And it takes a really long time to heal deep wounds, especially for a diabetic client. So I believe the dark area on the end of her toe is an old absorption of body fluid under that toenail. This week's most liked and featured comment is from Claire. She says, "Wow, there were a lot of fiddly little areas there, but the meticulous approach really sorted out her nails. She must be thrilled after just one treatment. I've been using the mycosis solution for months after I saw you recommend it, Lori. My big toenails were so dry and starting to curl in more at the ends. Now they're much better and flattened down back to normal. Thank you for saving me from difficulties with them." Well, thank you for the comment, Claire. I'm so happy to hear your toenails are doing so much better, and I appreciate your patronage and participation here on my channel.
So these looked like a new nail started growing. Did you wear a pair of shoes where your toes were squished in them about 3 or 4 months ago?
No, and that's the thing. That new nail growing and the old one falling off has been reoccurring for at least the last 5 years, and I don't know why. The big toe, the toe next to it, and that one toe, like you said, the nails has come off, and then a new nail grow. But the new nails are coming back. Like I figure it's got to be something internal. I don't know, like I said, if it's diabetes related or thyroid related, because it's definitely. I haven't, to be honest with you, I really haven't worn shoes in a year. Because I've been at home for a year and a year and a half, and I'm not, other than house shoes here and there, but my toes are still out in my house shoes. Most of the time, I don't even have shoes on, and when I did start coming out, it was warmer, and I have. Most of the times I wear sandals. Now I do have, I don't have anything that cramps my feet. So, but that has been doing that for the last 5 years. And one thing I can say, I went to another shop around where I live, and it's a shop that I normally didn't go to. I was telling you about the person I used to go to that stopped. So. Well, actually, at that time, she was still doing it, but I couldn't get to her. And so I rolled the dice and went to a shop that I normally wouldn't go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't 100% say anything
Right.
with what's going on. But yeah, my big toe and the toe next to it and that other toe you pointed out, they have shedded toes and grew new toenails at least 3 times in the last 5 years.
Oh wow.
But they come back, they don't come back, you know, they keep coming back dark, they keep, so that
Mm-hmm.
to me that tells me there's still something internally wrong. Because they're not coming back looking normal, they're coming back looking darker than a normal,
Okay. Bye, sweetie.
than a normal nail. You know, even my normal color toenail was a slightly darker color, but it wasn't that dark.
Okay.
So any one of the toenails that you see that sort of kind of have a darker grayish, that's not the normal. That's not what my toenail color used to look like.
Right.
But over the years, so like I said, I can't really attribute it. I don't know if it has anything to do with that shop, or if it was just the timing of maybe something was shifting internally with my body.
Systemically.
And it just really, one had nothing to do with it. The other was just my body was going through something. But I was grappling for a reason for why it happened, and I was trying to connect it back to itself. But I don't know. I really don't know if that had anything to do with it. But so yeah, so I do have an appointment, or I'm going to make an appointment rather in my area with a foot doctor within the next month to go see, just to have it checked out. Because I also had it checked out as well to say, well, is it, which is why I bought your product, like, well, could it be possibly a fungus? Could it be, because I didn't know. So I have been buying different products to potentially just go ahead and treat it as if there might be a fungus to see if that does anything. But then, like I said, I know that with your product, I really need to do it at a time where I'm not going to have nail polish. That's why I figured, well, let me buy it now, I'll hold it, and then when the winter months come, that's when I'll be able to really see your product go to work. Because my feet will be left like this, and I won't put nail polish on it, and I'll just be able to treat it,
right,
according to your instructions, and see if that helps at all.
Okay, that can go back in the water.
Take a look at the very tip of my nippers. I can tell that someone has dropped them on the tip. They have a little burr and they're snagging on the nail plate. You have to take really good care of your tools so they last a lifetime. So keeping them in a clean place and stored in a safe area where you know that they are and that they are clean and disinfected is very important. And if you need something for your tools, I have a great disinfectant tray that is convenient and easy for disinfecting and storing your tools on my online store. So go to meticulousmanicurist.com. Sometimes I get questions asking why the nail still looks jagged when I'm finished, and the answer is, it isn't the nail. What you see is the skin under the nail, like you see the skin on that second toe poking out from underneath the nail. She has a really high hyponychium, and you just cannot get that skin smooth. And a little later on, you'll see me trim off more of that skin from underneath the nail.
Did you ever get a fever? Sometimes fevers can cause little hiccups and growth patterns of toenails.
Not to my knowledge,
Okay.
not any that I recall.
My brain's just still thinking about that whole
It's
hiccup.
It's just weird. Yeah, it's because the first time it shed, it started shedding. I was mortified. Like I didn't know what was going on, and then, like I said, it was a new toe under it, but I could tell that the toe under it wasn't. So I'm like, in my mind, I think it's something internal going on in my system. Like I see this diabetes related. It's and like you said, I don't know if I had a fever at some point and didn't realize it. But I've been dealing with diabetes and hypothyroidism since, to my knowledge, that's when I was officially diagnosed. Could have been dealing with it before that, and it wasn't diagnosed yet. Since 2006.
Oh wow.
So it's been a minute.
Long time.
Yep.
The corners of the big toe where the nail has been pressing into the skin can get very uncomfortable for clients. You have to be very gentle when removing this excess skin in this area. Here I'm using my mini diamond cone bit just to remove that extra bit of callus, to make a little bit of extra space so that toenail isn't touching directly on that sensitive skin.
So what made you finally decide that you wanted to book an appointment?
Well, I knew that I realized that I needed a manicurist with your level of expertise. And I wasn't finding it readily. Like I said, eventually when I had to move my appointment with you, the first one, I made a mistake. I still needed, I'm like, well, I can't go see Lori until September now. But if you would have saw, you would have had to probably have 3 cameras on my feet. If you would have saw my feet the way they looked in.
The first time?
Yes, they were crazy. So, I didn't want to not come to you. It's just, like I said, when that crazy cicada thing came out,
I understand.
I'm like, that's crazy, and I can't deal with that. So I knew I was just happy I was able to get back in because you were so booked. So when they said September, and I thought about it for a second on the phone, and it was so funny because by the time, actually, I take that back. When I called to cancel, what was it? So the very first time I called to book an appointment, this is how booked you are. The very first time I called to book an appointment, right? So I call here, someone answers the phone. They gave me a date of, I think, May 25th was really the actual first appointment I was going to book with you. And I was like, well, wait a minute, I'm not sure. Let me check something. I need, because it was something going on and I couldn't remember if that date was a part of, you know, I didn't want to book an appointment then.
Right. For
so I was
work
like,
obligations.
I literally said, let me call you back in like 20 minutes and check something. And I'll call back and see if I can do that date. When I called back, it was booked in 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So that's when they was like, okay, June 2nd. I was like, okay, I'll do June 2nd. And I was ready for the 2nd. And then when Bugfest was supposedly going on, I was like, I can't, I just...
Bugfest?
Yeah, I'm like, my nerves, I was like, just the thought. Now, mind you, my brother's a truck driver. So he drives he was driving a load back and forth to Detroit daily.
Oh, wow.
And he was telling me, well, I haven't seen anything. I said, but you don't see stuff like that because you're not afraid of them.
Right.
So that kind of stuff doesn't jump out at you.
Right.
You're the cicada.
That's me. I talk to you, yes.
Yeah, this is Tracy.
Okay, so
That's
it's so
it.
funny. Now, okay, so you're the one I talk to.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And I was trying to give you a forecast.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
it seems
but,
like...
and you did, but I was so scared. I was so petrified. I was like, I'll be the one that they'll say, oh, it's nothing. There's nothing there. And then when I pull up, it'll be...
It's
a
a
locust.
locust.
And it's like, we just decided to come visit you. I was like, I would have been such a wreck. And you all would have had to call probably a straight jacket.
I think it's like... In your mind, you had this like
I
Jesus
did.
and the locust
I
coming.
did. Now, what's so funny? Now, where did you say you used to live? You told me on the phone.
In Maine.
Oh, in China.
In China.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, what was going on? Okay,
Oh, yeah,
the
they
Olympics.
worship in there.
So the Olympics was going on, and I did see, and I thought it was so funny, and I thought about you because one of the reporters was trying to report, and it was a huge one that landed on her at the Olympics, and she was trying to keep her composure. And she was like, "What is that? Is that about?" I was like, "They'll show me a picture. I don't want to see it." She said the same thing you said. They're like, for whatever size they
It's
are
like a
over
grasshopper mixed with a cockroach.
It's crazy. They were like double the size over there.
They are.
And they're like, to your point, it's not like, oh, every 17
largest,
years.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. They're not all the time though. It's just summertime, right?
Just summer over there, yeah.
I would go crazy.
Probably the largest one I ever saw was when we were in Malaysia.
Oh my God.
I thought it was I thought, and I don't know why I thought this because it was at night. I thought it was a hummingbird that like smacked into the door and then just fell. And I'm like, oh, poor bird. And I'm like, oh, that's not a bird.
And it was oh my gosh.
And I didn't know what it was, and that's what my husband said. He said, oh no, that's a big cicada.
I can't. Yeah, I have
Well, I'm
zero
glad
tolerance.
you survived. The
I
trip
did.
then.
I did. I came when I thought it was safe. Yeah, my brother was trying to tell me. He was like, I drive, because he goes to Detroit, drops a load, comes back. I don't see anything. I'm driving on the highway. I was like, I know, but I can't. So that's why I was like, let me just reschedule it at a time that I know,
Right.
at least normal bugs. Not the,
Yes.
And I don't have to even think about that because I would have been hyperventilating all the drive here, scared to get out the car.
No, you want to feel relaxed while you're here.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so like I said, the Chicagoland area gets hit with it in 3 years. But the area I live in, now I wasn't living where I live now in 2007 when they last hit, but from my understanding of, there's only certain areas they're able to survive in, and if you're living in
Because they need a lot of trees,
they need
right?
a lot of trees, so
Yeah.
as long as there hasn't been a lot of construction in that area, like the ground hasn't been dug up, trees haven't been removed, they can survive. Any place that you know, like they built new homes, if they new construction, that kills them. So the area I live in is a new construction area. So I'm like, okay, I think I have a fighting chance.
Yes, keep your
But the
fingers
13 year came out last year in the area, and nothing was near my house. So that gave me a decent sense of security that I'll probably be okay for the 17 year in 2024. My friends think I'm crazy. Why
You're
are
like
you
mapping
keeping,
it out
I
on your
know.
schedule, like your ovulation chart or
really,
something.
I'm serious. And like, so even this year I was looking at, because you know, I was just, well, I didn't really pay too much attention as much because I knew I wasn't going anywhere. If I wasn't going to come up here to get my feet done, I definitely wasn't going to go anywhere else.
Right.
But yeah, I think about that stuff. Like if I'm going somewhere, like what's going on where I'm going, because
Right.
like I just had one of the vloggers I watch on YouTube that I like a lot. She just went to Aruba. And again, once you get to a place, you have no control what's going on there, right? But she booked the flight. She was only there for 3 or 4 days. And for her, it was just not a good trip. It rained. I don't know if it was Hurricane Ida, part of that, or if this was just another tropical storm. I think it was just last week. And it rained like cats and dogs the whole time she was there. So the stuff she was vlogging, trying to show us her trip, but it was a trip of rain. The whole thing was just pretty much her, go in.
Yeah.
Of her showing us a bunch of rain.
One of the biggest complaints I get in the comment section is clients can't find anyone who cleans around and under the nails like I do. And one of the issues is I think they don't soak your feet long enough and they don't go around them a second time when the foot comes back out of the water. You want to be thorough, and if the client is getting nail polish on their toenails, you want to make sure the nail plate is free of all excess skin so the nail polish doesn't chip. And in my career as a nail tech, I hear about problems that clients have all the time, and I find solutions to help you. So if you want to control the excess skin around your nails, the Meticulous Manicurist foot brush is perfect for daily use. It has the perfect length handle, so you can reach your toenails and you don't have to bend over all the way. Now tomorrow I'm going to film my pedicure at home and show you how my nail polish has been on for about 6 months. I've shortened my nails a couple of times with the polish still on my toes, and I have no chips on the polish. So my polish line is fantastic for staying on and looking great the entire time. Well, until it gets too overgrown like mine is now, but I've had a full plate lately and I'll talk about that in the video. here is where I'm trying to trim away some of that pesky skin under the nail so it doesn't look raggedy that I talked about earlier.
I made another. I did the last appointment. I emailed you too, and you let me know that I needed to make sure that my nail polish was off of my hands before I came. And I never had no chip nail polish before.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I was like, I'll never do this again. I had to soak and scrape and soak. And it's probably half the reason too why some of my nails started. Well, I don't think. I mean, that might have had something to do. But like I said, my nails were sort of kind of in a fragile state anyway. But yeah, that took me a little bit. Not too long, but yeah, I'm like, I'm good. I'll never get that done to my nails again. My sister talked me into it, so I did it with her. And I was like, yeah, don't ask me to get that again. I'm not. Took too much effort to get it off without completely ruining your own nails.
Yep. Yeah, I won't even take it off of people. It just is.
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
Too
I had
time
to soak
consuming.
and soak, and then eventually.
And it's just a gooey mess.
It is. So, and then I took something and I just realized you just got to sort of scrape this off. It's not gonna just turn into a gooey mess. And so I just gotta like a whatever and nail file or whatever, and just started sort of gently as I could, just scraping it off my nails. I'm like, okay, I'll never do that again. I normally just stick to regular, and I didn't get on. I didn't get it on my toes. I only did it to my hands, but I'll never do it to my hands anymore.
Were you a runner?
I used to be. I used to run track.
Me too. You've got great calves.
But I'm really out of shape now. I haven't run anywhere. I haven't run anywhere, and I can't tell you the last time I've run. But I used to be. It's funny because I didn't realize the University of Michigan is up here. And at one point in my life, I had coaches. I don't know. I was silly. They were like, you could get a full ride to University of Michigan for track, and I was like, oh, never mind, I'm good. I didn't want to go to school for athletics, but I could have. Yeah. And this was one of the schools that they mentioned that if you're diligent and you have the abilities, you could. And it just didn't sink in, and I was like, I ended up going to college and graduating, but I realized after I paid 10 years off of student loans, I'm like, dummy, you could have gone to school for. You could have run it at the very least, and if you didn't go any further than that, you could have gone to school for free. Yeah. What were you thinking? I never even came back and told my parents. I never said, they never talked to my parents. I never talked to my parents. I just said, it was like, So when I got to high school, I just didn't do it. I just stopped. But yeah, I used to run. I didn't run long distance. I was fast. Yeah, I was very fast.
Me too.
Yep. So they were like, I guess when they realized that I wasn't coming to practices, and they were like, okay, we can't make her we can't make her do it. But yeah, I didn't understand the opportunity that I probably could have had. But I ran for years, and but yeah, I have not run or done. I haven't done any. Yeah, I gotta start doing something because I haven't done anything. So that's funny that you would say that. I'm like, really? Because I'm not ashamed.
Sprinters, I think you just have that muscle memory, that muscle tone. It just stays.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping I can.
Keeps your shape.
I can recall that and get myself back to where I need to be. When this pandemic hit, I've spent the first 3 months really just trying to figure out what is going on. And like I was telling you, I was sort of kind of more diligent with my eating and stuff at the beginning. And then as time went by, I went back to like, okay. You know, I was eating my veggies and everything. I was cooking. I'm not a big cook. I don't like to cook that much. But I was making myself cook more, you know, because with everything going on, the last thing I wanted to do was to go out anywhere.
Right.
So I was doing more cooking. But then over time, after, you know, we as a country had to just deal with it and realize, okay, this thing is sort of whatever it is supposedly here. It's, you know, whatever. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I have to live my life.
Yep.
You know, I can't live in a bubble. I can't stay in a house forever. And I sort of kind of went sort of back. So yeah, I haven't really been out moving as much. So I'm hoping I can get back into that more. Now notice because you use that beveling, I don't know what you call it, the drill thing. I noticed you were able to take off some of it where some of those toes look lighter in color. Yeah. So was that just a lot of buildup and dead nail stuff on the top?
The one that was on this one, the nail was just separated. It was like overlapping your toenail like this. Okay. And then just stain got underneath.
Yeah.
So that stain should grow out.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I gotta go to the foot doctor. I gotta go to my other doctor. I gotta go to a lot of stuff because I just don't know. The discoloration definitely is coming from somewhere. I just don't know what, but because it hasn't affected every one of my toes. There's only certain toes that it's doing it with. So I don't know if that's I don't know if that has anything to do with maybe nerve damage.
No, I think it was just from like moisture.
I'm thinking that too. I do think that it was because I do know that I've read that if you do have any kind of fungus impact or something, it's not easy to get rid of.
Yeah, I don't think you have nail fungus.
Okay.
I mean,
so with the product I brought from you, though, would that still help if I even just use it, even though I might not have that? I'm still going to use that.
It'll help get rid of the discoloration. The discoloration that's in your toenails right now, I think, is a stain.
Really? Once in a while, when it gets cold out. Now this would also, another thing that happened, I believe at one point I developed an ulcer.
Oh,
and
an ulcerated lesion.
Yeah, I was freaking out because that toe turned black. And I was like, oh, you know, my foot is going to fall off. What am I doing? You know, I got really scared. I went to the doctor, and it was determined. By the time I went to the doctor, actually, I sort of I don't know what I did, but I started treating it at home, and it got a little better. So by the time I went to the foot doctor,
it was already healing on the
better,
inside.
Yeah. But I took pictures of it, and I showed it to him, and he was like, "Whoa, what are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But again, I didn't know. He said it was an ulcer. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. Again, I'm thinking, what is this? Some kind of fungus? Like you said, is this some? I didn't know what it was, but all around the the skin around my toenail was basically black. And so he said also that he felt that that was blood coming under the skin. But I didn't, and even on the bottom of my foot, it was yellowed.
Was it about 8 to 12 months ago?
it's been over 2 years when it was bad. Now,
Okay.
I still might, I don't know if you see anything like right now as you were doing my feet that sort of kind of make you feel like something
Well,
might be going
because
on.
some of this could be old stain from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would make even more sense why.
Yep.
So I think over the years, so again, it's back to the cautionary tale of when you're diabetic, you need to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Because this kind of stuff can happen. Yeah.
So it's important not to let this callus get too big because the pressure, it pushes on the inside of your body and it can make a sore underneath of it. So the outside of it's covered and hard, but on the inside, you've literally got a wound.
So I think that's what was happening then. So I guess the wound was internal to your point, and it started affecting the toe, and it came to the surface of the skin, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks crazy.
Yep.
So yeah, but I'm finding that I can't just go to any old, like I said, I can't go to any old manicurist because they don't know. They just don't know what the things that you're doing. They don't know what to do when it comes to my feet. And some of them, I've called around and explained to them, because again, like I said, I knew I canceled my appointment with you. I was like, well, I still gotta, I can't still, not just for the vanity of having decent looking feet, but just for the health of my feet, I need something done.
Right.
And many shops I called were like, yeah, no, but I appreciate them telling me over the phone and not letting me come all the way in there and then looking at me crazy.
Yeah.
But they admitted, we don't know, like, if your feet aren't like really normal, and
We teach
and
people so they can help more people all around the world.
It's definitely a need for it. People like myself, there's a need for it.
Did you have a skin graft there?
No, you know what? I don't know what my toes are doing.
A birthmark, maybe?
I don't know. I know I have a birthmark on my back. I never paid attention to whether or not something. You seen like the color or something?
Yeah, it looks like a little, shape.
I don't know. I don't know. Nothing that I know of. Technically, I should be inspecting my feet, throughout the week, all the time.
Just to make sure you don't have any injuries.
And I don't.
Because
so that's why you point that out. I'm like, oh, really? I should know myself, but I don't. Like, oh, Lord. It's always so. You get older and everything starts falling off and falling apart. And
I hear you. What year did you graduate high school?
87.
Me too.
Really? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Really?
Oh.
Yep, 87. It's been a minute. Yeah, see, the thing is when you don't look your age, then it's easy to tell someone that you graduated in 87. The issue is when you start looking your age.
Right.
So like, you don't look anywhere near your age. So
Neither
it's
do
easy
you.
to say, oh, I was graduating in 87. The moment I start looking my age, then I'm going to have a problem. Like,
Yeah.
what do I need to do?
Right.
I need to have a facelift. What do I need to do? That's all the more reason why I know I need to get back into the groove of things and work out and eat right. It's just you just got to keep up with your body. Your body over time, it's just, if you don't, it's just gonna fall apart. It's just what it's gonna naturally do.
So did you run track in high school too?
I ran a little bit and I stopped.
Okay.
And that's when the coaches were like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Like,
All that talent.
But I didn't. I didn't get it. And what was crazy was I was fast, but I was not the fastest one. I went to this. Remember Flojo?
Yeah.
I literally went to school with Flojo's sister.
Oh my gosh.
Girl
She was my idol.
She could. Oh my gosh. My friend could run so fast. She would have gave FloJo a run for her money. I know if she ever took track seriously and went to that level.
Well, you were probably that fast and you hadn't really had that much training.
I hadn't had
so
much
the coaches
training.
were like thinking, look at all this potential. We can really groom
but
her.
even she was even faster than me. Like because
Right.
normally in the relay, your fastest person takes the last leg.
Mm-hmm.
I was the third leg.
Okay.
But I couldn't beat her. As fast as I was, she was like a comet. I couldn't beat her.
Right.
And so when I as I got older and FloJo came on the scene, I was thinking, that girl said French Cecile could probably smoke you. But neither one of us went into.
Right.
She didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Oh
I just don't think we understood
how cool it was.
Yeah, how cool it was. And again, probably could have got your school paid for.
Oh, totally.
You probably could have not have to pay our student loans back. I actually spent about 9-10 years paying back student loans. I paid them, but it took me a minute.
Yeah,
I just didn't understand it at the time.
Yeah. I had 6 school records and I had some scholarship offers, but that's the year I developed my psoriatic arthritis and it started in my feet.
As a kid, really?
Mm-hmm. I was 17 and I couldn't run anymore.
Oh. So what did it feel like? Was it when you said, what does that do when that develops in you? What were you feeling?
Well, all of my toes turned purple and they looked like little swollen cooked sausages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it make you cramp or something like that?
No, just constant pain.
Oh, you were in pain.
Oh, yeah.
That had to be something. Being that young, having to figure out what's wrong and.
The before and after photos are coming right up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope that you make that decision to do so you get notified when I upload my next video.
Yeah, we sold that. I was like, huh.